we're not journalists, but this is barbecue. What kind of journalism are people going to be looking for anyway? That's where they actually said, you know what, we're going to put the events out, and we're going to comb through every avenue we can to find every event, barbecue event in the country, and we're going to list it in the back, and that'll be the back, but that'll be the premier source of barbecue events, and that's what it started out as. And to this day, that is still the number one looked at thing that we have on the website and in the magazine is an event calendar from all the different associations across the country.
Yeah. How many pages was the first issue?
Oh, I had to go back and look. I think eight. It was 8 pages, but it was like a tabloid. So it was quarter folded. I think quarter folded, but it was almost like a tabloid.
They gon' have barbecue. They gon' have barbecue. They gon' have barbecue. They gon' have barbecue. Your barbecue on. Get your barbecue.
Ever notice how the sound of sizzling meat and the smell of smoke can silence the noise of the world? Now that's barbecue therapy. If the fire moves you, like, subscribe, share, and help spread the message because growth, like good barbecue, takes time and patience. Welcome to your therapy session. Welcome to the BBQ Therapy Podcast. My name is Tavis Bryant, and joining me tonight, we're sitting down with a true storyteller of smoke, Kell Phelps, the man behind National BBQ News and the leadership team at NBBQA. From legacy to leadership, this episode is packed with history, insight, and vision for the future of barbecue. I want to say welcome to the show. I got one rule: make yourself at home, speak freely. Hey, no sponsors.
Hey, listen, man, you just have to, when you say speak freely, man, the southern slang may really get going here for long.
Hey.
As long as you can put up with that, we'll be all right.
We're in the same states.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Starting off, let's take it all the way back to when you were little. What was life growing up around? Were y'all barbecuing when you were little, or how did that come about? What was your family scene dealing with barbecue?
Yeah, man. So we always had a grill of some sort, but we really got serious. My dad's best friend was a dentist, and his name was Doc Gillis here in town. And they were fish, man, a bunch. They would go river, creek fishing, but our families would cook together. So we would have weekend get-togethers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Doc Gillis, he was the cook now, buddy. Between him and his wife, Miss Francis, man, they cooked a bunch. They had 4 kids, 5 kids, so they were always cooking large amounts. But they're the ones that really kind of got us into the barbecue world. The Big Pig Jig is about an hour from me. And in their heyday, late 80s, maybe middle 80s, 85, 86, they started having regional events around. So they brought an event here in Douglas, Georgia. And that was where Doc and his bunch signed up, said, yeah, we're going to do this. So Daddy said, yeah, man. He said, we'll sponsor it to the shopping guide that we've got here in town. We'll be your sponsor. Just let us know. We'll buy the meat and all that, and we'll go from there. But we got to go out and eat some of that food, and that was the first time we had really eat his real good ribs and pork butt. Man, it was unreal. So they won the stupid thing, and about 20 teams. So they got the invite to go to Vienna to the Pig Jig. I think they finished. They got an 8th or 9th place call or something, and man, it was like a big old bass on a lunker lure. They were hooked. So that's how we all got started in the barbecue world, man.
Okay, and what meats did each of them cook? Which ones did your dad cook, and which ones did he cook?
So once we got going and really started competing, my dad was the night man. They all kind of helped season it and use Doc Gillis's recipes. And in the off season, we'd all get together, man, and we'd tweak, and we may cook 5 or 6 weeks in a row tweaking the recipe. But me and Dad, what few times I would go with those guys, I was busy playing ball. I played basketball, baseball, tried to play football for a little while, but just some of all of it. So I was wide open. But the ones close by, the Pig Jig, there was maybe one in Adel, Georgia, down in Valdosta.
Mm-hmm.
The close ones I'd try to make and get to go with them. But we were the night men. We would stand up, we would stay up and feed the smoker with wood and keep temperatures right and try to clean the place up. This was KCBS was just getting started, so most of
Oh,
their
wow.
events were still in Kansas City area.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was Memphis in May. It was Memphis in May had the network, and it was called the Memphis in May Sanctioned Contest Network. Now it's known as the Memphis BBQ Network. But you used to have to win your way into Memphis in May
Oh,
for
wow.
the World Championship, and that was part of that. Part of their sale for local regional events
Mm-hmm.
was the winner got a shot to come to Memphis for a World Championship. But since then, and there's nothing wrong. It's just with the way things are now, it's just changed. It went away. Some of the in the I believe probably early 2000s, things started changing with how Memphis in May was run,
Mm-hmm.
and it just changed and went away. And they did away with the sanction network. And then, thank goodness, there was a good group from Memphis that took up and took a lot of those events on, and it kept having those regional events, and it gave a lot of communities the chance to still have a barbecue contest without having to try to make up rules on their own and have a non-sanctioned deal. So
Okay. And back then, winning your way in, did they have the same amount of teams in Memphis in May, or was it like a smaller amount of teams that could?
nah, it was a large amount. I want to say probably at Memphis in May, first time I went, I'm guessing there was probably 350
Ooh.
teams there at Tom Lee Park. So
Wow. And what
yeah.
year was your first year? You went to the.
Oh man, that would have been 80, 89 or 90. I graduated high school in 89, so I probably didn't go that year. That was one of the things that always was hard about Memphis in May. It's always right around graduation time.
Mm.
And so I was probably my first year out of high school was when I went. And I think they got a couple of calls. I don't remember, sausage or something. And then I think they were cooking shoulders and probably got a seventh, eighth place call. But that was right before BBQ News started in 1990.
So Tom Lee Park, they've been having it all the time. They've been having it there since until recent.
Yeah, Tom Lee Park was where it first started. Actually, it was up I believe the first year. I'd have to check with Artie Davis. He's the If you ever get a chance, man, he is the barbecue historian on anything competition world. But the first year, I think they might have actually had it up on Bill Street. Maybe that little stretch there on and my directions are terrible, but I think would be the south end of Bill Street, maybe closest down there to where the River Park is now.
Okay.
But then they probably, I think they only had maybe 8 or 12 teams. I think Mr. Willingham was probably one of the first ones there. But that was humble beginnings, man, from what it used to be and what it is now, still today.
Oh yeah, yeah. And speaking of Willingham, I go up to the Big Shanty
Now,
restaurant.
yeah, man, I'm jealous. I got to get there.
It's good.
They've been hitting me up several times, and we're taking a trip up to Nashville here coming next week, I think. I want to do some site visiting for a new conference playing in 26. And planning to stop by up there on the way up there, hopefully. So,
Yeah, it's good. It's good, definitely.
good. No doubt. That bunch they've been doing it a long time, so they don't have any excuse not to do it good.
They invited me into the tent for Memphis in May. I took my wife up to Memphis in May, who was in there with them, and they were very hospitable to us, so I definitely appreciate them.
Oh, man. I hear you. So then you got to hang out with Harry Sue then for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That's how I met him, and I was able to get him for an episode because I met him.
Okay.
In there in the
yeah. Love them guys, man. Those guys are old, almost as old school as me. But now we start talking about Willingham. That really is old school there, no doubt.
Take us back to How did, I guess, the magazine, what led up to the magazine? I guess in preparation, did someone come to your father and Doc, or they just decided to do it? Did they have any journalism background or anything like that?
Not really, man. My mom actually had no journalism, and it was just advertising is what got her into the shopping guide. But man, the Lord blessed us so good. We were printing our own little paper and printing other people's papers and helping them get going with their little shopping guides in different towns around. But as they got going in the barbecue world, there was nothing to tell people what was happening. Competitions were growing. KCBS was taking a hold then and actually starting to grow pretty good bit there. And they decided that it was probably, honestly, us kids started getting a little older.
Mm-hmm.
Doc's, his big bunch was really a little bit older than me. I was the baby almost of the whole bunch. So once I graduated high school and there wasn't a lot of people to go with them and help them set up, and it was a work of art, man. We built this front of a log cabin, and it was all folded up on a flatbed trailer. But we had kitchen sinks and all that right behind the front, and that's where we did the on-site judging and all that. But I think that's probably what caused most of it. But they just didn't have anybody to go with them much, younger guys to help them set up and do. Everybody was getting, college was going on, schooling was going on, working was going on for others. And so they just decided they were going to judge a little bit, but they really wanted to do a newsletter of some sort. And that's where Doc Gillis and Dad just said, hey, we crazy not to do this. We're not journalists, but this is barbecue. What kind of journalism are people going to be looking for anyway? That's where they actually said, you know what, we're going to put the events out, and we're going to comb through every avenue we can to find every barbecue event in the country, and we're going to list it in the back, and that'll be the back, but that'll be the premier source of barbecue events, and that's what it started out as. And to this day, that is still the number one looked at thing that we have on the website and in the magazine is an event calendar from all the different associations across the country.
Yeah. How many pages was the first issue?
Oh, I had to go back and look. I think eight. It was 8 pages, but it was like a tabloid. So it was quarter folded. I think quarter folded, but it was almost like a tabloid. It's undergone 3 changes. It started out as like a small newspaper tabloid, and then in late, I believe 95, 96, we started making it our true tabloid, which was a little bit bigger than the National Enquirer, like you used to see on the newsstand or whatever. It was a little bit bigger than that, but it had no fold to it. And then we changed it to a full magazine in, I think, 2012, 13, somewhere around there. We just went and size with it then. So.
Back then, and if y'all want to see it, it's on Instagram, the very first issue. Look at the BBQ News Instagram. Yeah. They had a picture of it on there if y'all want to look at it. It was amusing. I loved that y'all posted it like that just to see the very first issue like that. So launching the magazine.
Yeah, man.
Was it smooth sailing when it first came out and printing and everything, or were there hurdles getting it printed and stuff like that?
Not really, because we owned our own print press and all that. It gave us a little bit longer to work on the issues and stuff, but our biggest goal then, obstacle, was trying to make sure we sourced correct information. We knew about events that happened the year before, but trying to find telephone numbers, contact information of the people who actually run those events was fairly hard. We spent a good amount of time tracking that information down. Let me back up. They spent a good time tracking that down. I was in the background. I was the one running the print press. Even though I'd hear about their fiascos and wild events they would go to, how much fun it was and all that, I was there working on the weekends printing newspapers for other people, but I always printed the BBQ News. since it started.
And to put it in perspective, so because the younger people don't know, there was no internet, there was no cell phones, so
No,
they were.
I think there might have been the bag phone, might have been just now surfacing about 90, 91, something like that. You could, I don't know. Check out James Bond, some of the old James
Yeah.
Bond movies. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Because my first one, he said, I graduated in '94, so my first one was a little blue Nokia phone where you had to get minutes, pay for the minutes on there, and they don't know
Okay.
that texting wasn't free. Texting wasn't free, and it wasn't unlimited. So back in the payphone
That's right.
days, and
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, you didn't show up late. My kids called me all the time. Dad, I'm caught by the train, and I'm gonna be a few minutes late. No, Daddy, you couldn't call from the car, tell them you was gonna be late. You just got a tail whooping when you got there.
so when you officially stepped into family business, when you were working back then, did you have any plan to do anything else, or did you always want to be working with the magazine?
Man, to be honest with you, being a printer was a dying breed. It just was not a very. My town was like 10,000 population, so it's not a real big town. But there was only two or three of us that had ever run printing presses, and I was raised up around it. I started catching papers and straightening them and putting bundling what we call bundle. It was a string tire that would put a piece of string around it and tie a knot on it.
Mm-hmm.
The old school, man. That was where I started from the very beginning, but I learned differently even when I was in school. I was not a whiz kid at all. I played a bunch of ball, I said earlier, but it was a struggle for me to keep the grades up. But to read a book and go learn something, I did not do that very well.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if I could see somebody do it, and that was probably why I excelled at athletics better than school, was they would hands-on show you this is the way you throw, this is the way you swing, or this is the way you run. So being able to see that same thing, print newspapers, I could see what was causing things to happen and what needed to be fixed so that didn't happen and get into trouble. But learning that, I don't know, I just learned differently. I don't. Back in the day, it was probably considered a disability, not being able to focus or whatever. Now they call it ADHD, or there's 14 different issues with learning things now. But if they'd had YouTube back then, man, I probably would have been a whiz kid because I could have probably saw it a little better. But thankful I had some really good teachers who understood that, saw me struggle with the book method, and they would take me under the wing and really show me step by step what to do. I got out of school and got to play ball all through school and all that, but the printing press, I really learned that from watching and learning. That was where all that come about. But first started on the magazine or whatever, with BBQ News. That was something totally different from anything that was out in the barbecue world for sure. Kansas City started their what was called the bull sheet back then, and I think they still do it now on a digital basis. But we actually got the opportunity to print it when it first started.
Oh wow!
For a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, and we would ship it, print it, and ship it back up there to them for.
I wish they still did.
But early on, to say I was thinking about what I was going to do and stay toward the barbecue world, man, I fell in love with drag racing and race cars when I was about 20, 21. And we worked on the weekends, so that made it hard to go racing a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Made it hard to go barbecuing with the guys. So Daddy and Doc would be off, so we were their security blanket because we were taking care of work and business on that end at home while they were going off and doing. But I met and kept up with all their friends through the magazine or whatever, and as they would travel through, they would stop in and see us, so I'd get to meet them. But fast forward 1998, Mom and Dad sold their newspaper, the little shopping guide newspaper, to the Valdosta Daily Times down here. a regional group was growing, and they were buying up some papers. So I was the 5-year contract that stayed on with that group. And after about 3 years, I had enough time on that contract that I fulfilled 5 years. Man,
Wow.
I hated it. I turned into a number versus it's hard coming from a mom and pop owned shop where you get Christmas presents, you might got a Christmas bonus, but they didn't care. You were supposed to be at work the next day, or if it something needed to be happening, it was Christmas Day, they'd call you,
Wow.
And so that was had a wreck after a 30 some hour shift. Fell asleep on the way home and had a wreck, and that was when I decided, man, I got to do something different. And Daddy and Doc were had already bought, both of them had little trailers down at the river about 40 miles away, and they were looking at maybe even selling the BBQ News, but they wanted to go fishing all the time. And they said, man, I think you'll be all right with that. And my dad said, I don't think you'll get rich. He said, but if you go hungry, it's going to be your own fault. And so I thought about that thing. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll go to the bank Monday and I'll take my little business plan. And if they loan me the money and I don't have to borrow it from you guys, then I'll go that route. I'll do it. And sure enough, about 15 minutes, bank guy come back and he said, yep. He said, we're going to loan you that money and set it up on I don't remember, a 12-year note or something like that. But made it so that it was a little more affordable than what we had originally planned. And I called Val Austin. I said, I can give you 2 weeks, or you can go ahead and fire me now. I don't care. And so that's how I got into the BBQ News position there.
Okay. And at the time, were you married, or have you met your wife yet then?
Yeah, so I was married, had 2 kids, had my baby girl, matter of fact, was just born. She was a newborn at that age when I had the wreck or whatever. And fast forward a couple of years after that, we got divorced. Things happened or whatever, but thank goodness I got Miss Janet, and of course all fit exactly what I needed. And now she's my right hand for sure, without a doubt. But yeah, 2 kids. My baby girl just celebrated a birthday on Saturday. I'm sorry, 26th, and 23 years old now. And my son is up in Perry, Georgia. He's between us. I think you up in North Georgia up there, up in the Atlanta area. So he's down in Perry, Georgia, which is halfway between where you guys and we are. But he's doing good. He's married and doing his own thing up there. But neither one of them, they grew up barbecuing around, going to events, and doing the whole thing. But they love to eat it, and they can cook it, but they have really no desire to be in the business side of it because they see how much time and effort goes into it. A lot of time you get caught up in helping somebody else instead of helping yourself. But that's just the way we roll. But I wouldn't trade it for nothing else for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely good. Yeah, I have a 9-year-old and a 15-month-old. So
you just starting out then, my man.
Yeah, and I'm 49, but I had her at 48, so I got a ways to go.
Okay. Listen, they'll keep you young, man. That's the one thing I did learn. They will keep you young.
That's a great experience. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. So I see they named a street after y'all down there, Phelps Road.
Oh yeah. So our road that we live on. Yeah. That's kind of what happens when you work at the newspaper before 911, and you start talking about the young ones. They surely don't remember none of that. But 911 come to town, and they voted on it, and that's system that the county was going to start running, and they had to put a name on every road, and no more. I think it was County Road 378 or something like that for years. And so it had to have a name, and all you had to do was fill out a form and a petition, and if there was more than one name petitioned, then they would call up the neighbors and they would vote on what name they wanted, and that's luckily, nobody else put the name in for the road, and that's where we live, on the dead end at Phelps Road down here in Douglas, Georgia.
Oh, that's cool. So y'all been in Douglas your whole life? You've been in Douglas?
I was actually born in Tifton, Georgia,
Oh,
and we moved to Douglas when I was about 6 months old. Yes, sir.
oh wow. And from what I see, that look like it's the trailer capital of the world. Ain't it down there?
I guarantee you, if you got some type of enclosed trailer pulling or know of somebody, if you go look at the tag, it's going to either be Coffee County or Axon County, and there's probably 100 or so of those facilities within 30 miles of my house now. So absolutely.
Because I was looking, I'm eventually gonna get a trailer so I can start competing once my daughter get older. But I know I'm gonna have to go down there and visit one of those trailer places.
Yeah, man. Give me a call, because make sure you hit a good one, because there's some that we see them broke down beside the road before they ever county a couple of times. Some of them boys are shortcutting now, especially now that there's competition so tight. Everybody's trying to cut the dollar. It's not bad, but there are a few that are they're kind of rough.
That's
No doubt.
wild that all of them came to one place like that.
If you go back, we're talking about old school, but if you go back in the 70s, early 70s, mid 70s here in Douglas,
hmm
we built a lot of mobile homes here,
Oh,
and a lot of those plants are old mobile home plants. But that was what we used to do. I don't know, Fleetwood. I can't tell you how many plants they had at one time. I think there might have two plants here now, maybe three
mm.
in the in Coffee and Axon County. But there was a lot of independently owned mobile homes being made here for a lot of years. That's where that all come from, no doubt.
The people that y'all got for writing articles, how did y'all go about gathering them together for the magazine?
A lot of luck. Really, over the years, man, we have had a ton of really great contributors. And the thing we talked about earlier wasn't about journalism, because what we is the furthest thing in the world. We don't want nothing to do with journalism or correct grammar or whatever. We get called out a bunch about that over the years, and that's okay. That's kind of what we are. We're just
Mm.
down home barbecue magazine trying to help somebody have a better experience,
Exactly.
and we do that through the contributors, and a lot of them are competitors, or some of them may be business owners with small businesses or whatever, but maybe judges somehow tied into the barbecue world. But we just, as we went around, folks would show an interest. Hey, man, I think I might want to try that. And we never, that I know of, we've never turned away any type of contributor
hmm
over the years. Sometimes it's hard because it's a monthly, it comes due every month, and it becomes a chore. It's about serving up good food. If you're on a cul-de-sac in your neighborhood and you're giving away free food every football game,
hmm
it don't matter. If it may not be super good, but it's free, they're gonna keep coming,
Yeah.
right? So same way with contributors. Sometimes the information ain't super good or whatever, but man, we're trying to fix it up, make it as readable as possible.
hmm
But somebody's eating that up. Somebody's learning from what they're sharing, and they're telling them about it. Man, I saw your article in there about the pats of butter, and make sure and use unsalted butter or whatever the tip was, and that's just as good as feeding them a free meal, because it just keeps them coming, and it gets them excited about writing the next article. A lot of contributors are basically just like us, man. They just want to help somehow, some way, somebody have a better experience in their barbecue journey, for sure.
Who's wrote the longest? Which one contributed the longest?
Ooh, wow. My mom, bless her heart, she still writes at 83. She still helps us out, and she writes some articles. So without a doubt, she's been there since the very beginning in some form or fashion, and maybe not continually,
hmm
but without a doubt, she's been there the longest. And then you got Dana Hillis down in Florida. He's been there since I got those guys when they Florida Barbecue Association just started, and we were their official publication for a while. And Dana was volunteered by, he was on the board of directors, and so he started writing articles about what he was doing and events, and even after he got off the board and we weren't they went a different way with digital newsletters and stuff. He still hung in there with us, and so he's probably the second longest going with us for sure.
That's good. And we're going to switch over to the Rubs of Honor and the Sauces of Honor. 15th year this year, correct?
Yes, sir.
How did that concept come about when y'all started doing that?
It was really from several different rub and sauce makers. We started with the sauces first before doing the rub. We did the sauce, I think, a couple of years. But all these other sauce events, they base it off of different categories by what base is in the sauce, whether it's vinegar based or fruit based or whatever. But there was nothing really that garnered or crowned the best sauce for a particular, whether it's chicken, beef, pork, seafood, like we do it. And so that made it a whole lot simpler for people to understand what they were buying from a promotional standpoint. But it gave people an opportunity to try different sauces because we did not limit it to marketed or commercial sauces. So if you were competing or looking at trying a sauce that you think may actually potential go into the market, that was the whole concept behind the sauces and rubs of honor.
So do y'all receive some like in a mason jar with?
Yes, sir. We sure do. Matter of fact, in the rules, we actually tell you how to seal it. You make sure and pour it in there hot, and make sure that the jar seals tight on the sauce, and keep it from spoiling. So, yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. Yeah, people love them certificates, boy. They be bragging as soon as they get a certificate. I got second place. I got first place.
But that's kind of good for us when they start bragging like that. But also it gives them some credibility.
Yeah.
Golly, I'm not sure, but I think last year we had the largest barbecue sauce contest there ever in the world.
Wow.
We had over 600 entries. I want to say 700 entries. I had to go check with Janet. Numbers and names is not my thing, man, so I apologize about that. But we're looking at this year maybe trying to contact Guinness and see if they'll come down and verify it as we go and do it. But it just gives people a huge opportunity to try and see how they rank up against other products, whether they're commercial already or homemade. Our judges give feedback. I don't know how much longer we can do that. Sometimes it's taking 2.5 weeks now to get all those comments transferred to an email and get back to them. But we have always let the judges write comments on the sauces or rubs that they judged, and then we send them back to the people. They're the only ones that see it, almost like a comment card in the barbecue world. But we've done that since the beginning, and that seems to be a huge plus. People love getting those comments to see what people think.
Yeah, that's a good idea that y'all came up with, and the concept doing it is on the meat versus the base. That's an excellent idea too, because it's different, and a lot of people's stuff is versatile, so it works on. They can win different categories and have the same sauce. So that's definitely good. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right, we're gonna switch over to the NBBQA. Could you give us a rundown of how that got started and what was it geared towards for the barbecue community?
Yeah, absolutely. So National BBQ Grilling Association started in 1991, and Daddy and my dad, Joe Phelps and Doc Gillis, they were both founding members and helped get that thing started. but it was geared toward the business side of barbecue. Whether you had a restaurant, whether you were catering, if you had a sauce and rub, if you were manufacturer, that was what that organization was for, was to be a trade organization. Mm-hmm. And that's how it kicked off. Had some rough beginnings, man. One of the first guys that first president made his first meeting and never saw or heard from him again. He they went through the trouble and setting up a nonprofit and a lot of work. It's even back then it was a lot of work to set those things up, but got it started and that was it. And it was up to the board members to take it over, and thankful there were some good ones. And the first trade show and conference was held in Las Vegas in 1992, I believe. Might have been the end of 91. I had to go back and check. But good thing is with the magazine, we've got all that documented. We've actually got a pretty good library. All those issues are bound in the big books. And so when we get ready to go back and look something up, it takes us a little while, but we've got it. And like we were talking about before, that's why we love the print stuff, because you can go back, it's there forever. It's not so hard to find, but the digital stuff, it might get changed 3 or 4 times before you go back and see what you thought you saw back in the day. But anyway, all that's documented in the BBQ News and in the there, but that's how it got started, got going, and just a cool deal, man. This thing has helped a lot of people in the business world, and I cannot say enough about some of the heroes that jumped in and worked so hard, tirelessly on that, with that organization. I think about Mike Mills. I cannot even begin to think about how many hours that he mentored, helped people, whether with advice or invited him up to his place in Murfreesboro, Illinois, to work with him side by side. And man, there's a ton of people. I think about Famous Dave. Same thing, man. As always, gave helping hand and whatever. Sweet Baby Ray, Linda Orson. Those guys have tremendous stories of their own, but I feel like their legacy really and truly is going to be how many people they helped when they get ready to hang up their cooking aprons, or when their time here is done. I really feel like their legacy is going to be looked upon as how many people they helped in the barbecue world. And for me, that's all I ever want to do, is help somebody some way, some form or fashion. But man, I sure had some pretty good mentors come down that path many years ago, and then those guys leading the way and showing us how to do it, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a good feeling when you have people believing in you, especially the people that you looked up to and that you'll never think that you run into or meet, and you're like, man, I can't believe this person's helping me, or this person helping me and teaching me and giving me knowledge. It's like, I never think I'd be sitting here talking to you or some of the other people that but it's all about somebody just seeing the potential in you and investing in you, and that's why I do it, just to help people, encourage people to hear other people's stories. They can get motivated and step out there to do whatever God called them to do. So it's definitely a great thing that y'all got it put together, and it's great to see that people investing in it and helping y'all bring it forth. So it's definitely a good thing. When you and Janet took over as manager partners in 2022, did y'all make any changes or shift the direction, or what did y'all do when y'all stepped in?
Yeah, a little bit. Man, I tell you, that was a tough deal. COVID had about closed down what the normal association was, and that the yearly conference was the biggest fundraiser that the association had. That basically 1 year event would keep it running for the whole year. And so when COVID come, there was a couple of years they didn't actually have a conference. There was a year they had one planned, deposits paid, the whole 9 yards, and then couldn't have the event. And so when what they come and ask us, hey, listen, everybody's doing their own job, and I understand that. When you get to that point where you're trying to survive and keep a business going,
Yeah.
but yet you are elected to a board on another deal, so trying to keep that afloat as well, it can be very challenging. We sit down and we talked about it 2 or 3 times, and then we basically went back to same thing we just talked about. All those people who had gone before us helping and showing the way. We're like, man, we called 2 or 3, 4 of them up and told them what we were thinking about doing and what had been presented for us to do. And every one of them said, man, I don't know that I would do it, but we think you'd probably be the right people to do it. And if anybody can make it succeed, it would be you. So with that pat on the back, it's almost like going out there with a no hitter going and pull you in from the bench and slap you on the butt. Go get you a hit, man. Go get it. Basically, what we changed up, you ask about changes, we turned it as we purchased it or transferred it. However, we took it from a nonprofit where it was run by a board to a for-profit business where we wouldn't be under that constant roller coaster of a board that was ready to work and serve and go at it versus having a steady stream of ambassadors and people who were leading us, guiding us as to what they thought. And we even looked at setting it up as a nonprofit where it was an appointed board, where we could appoint the board that we wanted. And the way it was actually set up before, it had to be dissolved and reset back up. And in the state of Georgia, would have probably been frowned upon for us to try to set up a nonprofit in that manner with a different setup from what was originally the association was made on. That's basically the reason why we did it, but we made the change was it was just easier for us is it just to run through the old time process. Pick up the phone, call these guys, hey, tell me what you want to see at the conference. Matter of fact, we just got done with Thursday night. We had I believe it was Thursday night, might have been Wednesday night. We got done with the very first planning conference call for the new conference coming. Be the 35th anniversary happening. We're looking now at planning that event. So if you're an NBBQA member, man, we want to hear from you. We're here for you. It's your association, and we're just like always. We're taking advice from what members want to see and how they benefit the most. And some other changes are some of the live fire experience events we're doing now. We're showcasing our members, putting them out front, hopefully in some public events. We're partnering up with other events to make this happen. Maybe looking at doing our own event or two coming up in the future. Biggest thing there is volunteer help. A lot of times when you got a nonprofit association, you may have 30 or 40 volunteers open up at an event like that. But with the fall off from where we haven't built it back yet, I think we're about 400 members. But we're looking now at building that back up as well. And so trying to sell tickets and do all the things to do your own event is way more difficult than just plugging in with an already successful event, maybe like the American Royal or whatever. And we'll definitely be doing that again this year for sure.
And yeah, I mentioned it. Yeah, I saw y'all at Smoke Slam. That the setup was excellent. Food was excellent. Me and my wife enjoyed it. Everybody, if people don't know, it wasn't no just hear a little bit just to taste it. They was feeding folks out there. They were feeding folks out there, and there was a lot of people there.
Absolutely, man. I tell you, when they approached us about bringing the live fire thing to Smoke Slam, we were beyond excited, man, because this live fire thing is really taking off, and not everybody can do it, man. I'll be honest with you. It's a hard it's a hard process to learn because there's so many, every element, whether it's wind or wood or charcoal flame, you really got to be on your P's and Q's to make sure you don't ruin a piece of meat. But I will say this, when it's done cooking that way over the live fire deal, you will never be able to duplicate that flavor profile in any form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what amazes people when they get an opportunity to get a bite of that. They're like, oh my gosh, different. That's just different. That was the way the cavemen did it back in the day. Before there was cookers, they were cooking on rocks and stones and all that stuff. But
That's true.
that show appeal is really what turns people on. But when they get that taste and they get that whole experience
Exactly.
of what's going on for us, we feel like that's what the key is. And if we can take and pull our members in front of those people and showcase it and plant seeds in other people wanting to try to get a part of that, then we feel like we've done our job and hopefully brought something to the event that was different.
Yes.
And fast forward to this year, like you say, they put us under pavilion, a little different field. We were actually in the shade for a change, not out in the sun. But just a tremendous setup there. The Smoke Slam has got going, and I feel like we could probably double, maybe even triple the size of that thing coming up next year based off of the response we got this year from it.
Oh yeah, you give free food away. They there.
You buy a ticket to get in.
Hey, it was worth it.
But yeah, I know.
They wasn't giving no.
We had a couple.
They were giving good meat.
We definitely had a couple people come and say, "Hey, listen, man, I feel like I rooked y'all for $25. I need to give y'all 25 more because I ate a bunch." So that's a good thing, though.
Yeah, and Al, he's a bad man. Al Fagoni, he's a bad man. So y'all had the right
He has
person.
definitely got the live fire figured out, man. He is a man. He is, and I cannot tell you how many people he has taught that craft to over the past probably 7, 8 years. That he's really been into that, showcasing it. But his crew, the way he just hand takes them in and shows them piece by piece, he's so calm. He never gets upset. It doesn't matter what goes on. Oh my gosh, we're out of buns, or oh my gosh, we're out of this. He just automatically says, let's just don't do a bun. Let's put it in a stew and make something different. But he's a true artist, but he is also the best problem solver. Or my mama always told me we never have problems. We only got situations. We just need to figure out what the situation is and change. But he's a situation fixer.
Definitely. That's a good thing to have, quick thinking. And next we're going to switch over to congratulations on being honored at the American Royal for the Impact Award. What does that mean for you and the Gillises to be honored during the American Royal?
Man, I got to tell you, that's a big one. Yeah. When we got the call, it's more about the legacy of what Daddy and Doc Gillis put together. A lot of people thought they were just wasting money or spinning their wheels or whatever, having a good time going out, traveling across the country, doing the barbecue thing. But being able to see that it actually had an impact, that's probably one of the most fulfilling things that we've had the opportunity to do, is actually keep that thing going and see how people have been impacted in their lives, whether that be business or competition guys, through the products and the work that we've done and continue to do what two fishing buddies started out doing in the early 90s.
Because if you look at this magazine, you can't tell that nobody got no journalism degree or anything like this. This is very professional put together. Hey, my hat off to y'all. I'm trying to get like that.
Oh, man, I appreciate that. Really, it all boils down to loving what you do. But we really do. We feel like we got probably one of the best jobs in the world. And we've seen 1 million people come and go through the realms of the barbecue world, and it's just amazing to see each one of them have a different story and a different path. Some of them are still kicking. Some of the old timers, as a matter of fact, saw Carolyn Wells a few weeks ago in South Carolina, and I hadn't seen her in a while. But man, talk about a visionary. Now that's. But when you see those folks and that had an impact way back then on people and still impacting today, it sure makes it worthwhile getting up in the morning and the long nights and the 2,000-mile trips and being away from home. It sure makes it worthwhile when everybody stands up and realizes, hey, the two fishing boys knew what they were doing. They had a plan, had a mission in their hand.
And it's good that they acted upon that instead of saying, "Nah, we're not. I don't know how this gonna play out, so we're just not gonna do it." But they jumped out there and took that chance, and see how it paid off. I'm happy. It helped me a lot with reading the magazine. So I'm one of them people that they helped out, and I show appreciation to them by supporting it and continue to support it every year. So y'all definitely gotta. I'm not one of the people that just talk the talk. I got all my subscriptions and keep them
Right.
and keep them together. I don't care how old the
Well, it's
magazine
folks
is.
like you, man. It's folks like you that keep us doing what we do, man. And to hear that, even though we have down days, ain't every day. It ain't the perfect rib. Some days they fall off the bone, they overcooked, or some days they're a little tougher than others. But when you hear folks like that, man, we sure appreciate it because it makes it worthwhile,
Yeah,
no doubt.
definitely. I'm gonna ask a quick question now. Since you're working with Janet, which is your wife, what's the secret to balancing family, business, and the barbecue lifestyle without burning out?
Learn to say yes, ma'am, and say it very often. And yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Man, it just goes back to loving what you do and being around a lot of great people all the time. If we were around a bunch of tailholes, it really would be hard. And but we don't have that in the barbecue community, thank goodness. But
Mm-hmm.
man, we are beyond blessed to get up and go to work for a community that is first top notch, always goes above and beyond no matter what they're doing. I think about the Operation Barbecue Relief. I remember when they first got started and how far they've come and what they do now, and then to see other small groups here with the floods. They were turning semis and sending them down the road,
Wow.
down where the river had flooded. They had so much stuff coming in. They just they were full with what they had, and they just sent it on down to help somebody else. And that's the way I think we feel about it. Is we certainly love each other, but until I say no, ma'am, and then it turns on the other cheek. But just being able to be helpful and to a community that appreciates it and they love us back. It seems like no matter where we go or what we're doing, people are always complimenting us or helping us
Mm-hmm.
or giving us advice, or every once in a while we get some tough love, but it's much deserved. A little kick in the tail every once in a while will keep you straight too. But I think that's how we balance it. You just love what you do, and then it's not really going to work every day.
It's definitely true. The future of Q. You could give us a little information on that.
Man, the future of Q is killing it right now. So a couple of years ago, we wanted to start highlighting the next generation of the barbecue. The younger generation today, I feel, are letting so many things slip by.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I grew up with a gun in my hand, shooting birds or deer hunting or shooting a bow and arrow, just doing a lot of things that you don't see kids do much today to the same amount. And not that I'm fearful that the barbecue world will go away, but I feel like some of those traditions would were slipping away. Give a little secret away. We're going to start a little interview series with some of the old timers. I just got finished recording with Myron Mixon 2 days ago, and man, just the old school, his legends class, where he actually burns down the wood and shovels the coals under the pits. That was how some of those guys we were competing with in Douglas, Mr. Plymell, and some of the farmer guys that were competing in the Douglas event I was telling you about with the big jig, they wwere doing that. And man, I'm telling you, just that old school traditional stuff, we didn't want it to go away. And so that's why we started highlighting those next generations of youngsters, young adults that were taking the lead in the barbecue world. And man, golly, we have sure got a, when you talk about a bunch of contributors, we got a bunch of winners in that bunch. And just, I can't tell you how proud I am when we see what they're doing and we're able to tell others how good they're doing and why they're doing it just because they love what they're doing. And it makes all the difference in the world. But it's basically every month, every other month magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And we let the kids roll with it, whether they want to share a recipe or if it's an event they went to or if it's something they did cooking for a volunteer thing, teaching a class. But no matter what they want to write about or share their experience, it's basically set so that they can share whatever they want, however they want, to try to influence and get more younger people involved in the barbecue world so that we know that flame stays lit for years to come. When I'm old and sitting on my front porch, maybe I'll be looking at one of their magazines or something.
That's good. That's good because it's definitely a good thing to see the younger people preserving what has been set before them and not letting the flame go out and keeping it going because it's fun. Everybody might not get into it, but if some of those going to have an interest in it and keep that going, continue to grow the sport of competitions, as well as train people to cook in the backyard or whatever with the recipes and stuff like that. So you don't know where these kids going to be 10, 15 years from now. They might be world famous chefs somewhere and they started out in the future queue and look at them now. So it's definitely a good thing to see. And that's a good thing that y'all started because they get to see themselves in a magazine and show their friends, look what I, and boost their confidence and keep them
Right.
going. So it's definitely a good thing.
That's it. And we're always looking for more, man. So if any young ones out there, or y'all know young ones, man, let them drop us a line, man, because we never, just like regular contributors to the magazine or whatever, we've never turned a kid away that wanted to share what was going on. And happy to do it. And golly, with the high school associations and all that stuff happening now, there's a ton of kids. And I call them kids. I try not to do that, but it's bad, man. At 54 years old, I feel like the old guy now. I've been around that long,
You gotta tell me.
but that next generation for sure. If any of those guys we can help and boost them up, let them share what they got going on. And I know social media does a lot of that today already too. But we'd love to get them involved for sure to keep them going and seeds for others coming behind.
All right, got two quick games for you, and then I'm gonna get you out of here. You know how in college basketball they got the tournament bracket. So what I came up with was a tournament bracket of 16 meats that you cook on the grill, and you just pick which one you like to eat, and we'll see which one wins. Matchup number one:
Okay,
smoked bologna versus hamburger.
man. Old sloppy, greasy hamburger, you can't beat that. I gotta go with the hamburger.
All right, sausage versus pork chop.
Oh man, when you know how to make your own, grind your own sausage using your brisket trimmings, it's hard to beat that link of sausage. So I have to go with, as long as it's homemade, it's got to be sausage.
Okay. Next matchup: brisket versus hot dog.
Oh man, I love a good all beef hot dog, but that brisket when it's cooked, man, ain't no doubt about it. It's got to be brisket.
All right, pork belly versus smoked ham.
Woo, that's a tough one there now. I'm a pork guy. And I love cooking the whole hog, and I think the bacon's probably the best part. I love cooking most. I'm gonna probably go pork belly. I like it.
All right. Next one is beef ribs versus smoked turkey.
Man, first time I saw dino ribs, I like to fell out. I didn't really know. We'd always had the little thin,
Mm.
I don't know, I forget the name of them, the
Plate one?
hibachi
Oh,
ribs.
oh, those.
Maybe that real thin, got the little three round bone. Anyway, that was what we knew as beef ribs. But when I saw that first big beef rib, and we got to go to Black's, and they had them on the menu out in Texas, and I think I paid about $80 for a beef rib. That thing was like 4 pounds,
Whew.
and I eat that whole thing. So I gotta go beef rib, man, because when it's done, that thing just melts in your mouth, and it's probably one of my favorite bites I've ever had in barbecue world for sure.
Okay. Next matchup is barbecue shrimp versus lamb.
Oh, lamb, hand this down, man. I love shrimp, but I like it fried, and you can tell you can't really tell here, but I'm a fat boy, so I like fried shrimp. But compared to grilled shrimp, it's got to be lamb
Oh,
for sure.
okay. Burnt ends versus pork ribs.
Woo! I'm gonna say pork ribs, man, especially if they spare ribs. Like spare ribs. That's probably my second favorite thing.
All right. Steak versus smoked chicken.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go steak because I'm a steak guy. My 2 seconds claim to fame was the very first big SCA contest they had was at the NBBQA conference in 2013,
Mm.
and cooked my dad's recipe. He had just passed, and I wasn't going to do it, but I said, yeah, I'll make the donation. And that recipe to this day, every time I've cooked it, has done really well in a SCA cook-off. And I won that thing
Oh,
that
wow.
night against about 80 something people. I think Malcolm Reed still got it on video. He run it up that night. And to think that would be my 5 seconds of fame right there. I beat that whole crowd one night, one time, but I did it with steak. And so, yeah, definitely steak.
All
I'm
right.
very fond of the ribeye steak, for sure.
Cool. All right. Next round hamburger versus sausage.
Whoo! I do like a greasy hamburger, though, man. I just got to tell you, I like greasy hamburgers.
All right. Brisket versus pork belly.
Gotta be brisket. Gotta be brisket.
All right. Beef ribs versus lamb.
Whoo! Gotta be the beef rib, man. That's a tough one, though. Lamb is so different when it's
Yeah.
done right, though. But yeah, gotta be beef rib, though.
All right. Pork rib versus steak.
Uh, if it's a ribeye steak done, it's gotta be the ribeye.
Oh.
It's gotta be the steak.
All right. Final four hamburger versus brisket.
Oh boy,
Just get harder.
probably definitely brisket.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely brisket.
Beef rib versus steak.
Oh boy, you're killing me, Smalls. Woo! It had to be steak.
Okay.
It had to be steak.
All right. Final brisket versus steak.
It had to be steak. It's gonna have to be steak. Comes down to that.
All right.
No doubt. Just because I know that's so hard, man, when you learn to cook for your taste.
Mm.
And I'm so blessed because we get to try so many different rubs, sauces, accessories, everything to help you cook a little better. But when you figure out to cook for what you like, and I'm not being ugly, but the best thing in the world I've ever eaten come right off my grill when I got it all right here at the house. A lot of times that's practicing for a contest or something else, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean that in a bad way at all because I have eaten some of the best, I never forget, Melissa Cookston was raising her own hogs one time. She's working on a breed of hog. And up at Memphis, she called me up and said, hey, come here, come here. And I got a bite of that hog that she was cooking, and I like to have just I almost had a hissy fit. That was, golly, boy. She rolled up the bacon and put it. That was probably the out of pork. And to this day, that's probably been 8, 10 years ago now. But when you can figure out how to manipulate meat to your taste, I don't mean that ugly. It's hard to beat what you like.
All right. I got one more quick game. It's another tournament. And I know you're a Georgia Bulldog fan, so I did the top
Oh, yeah.
Georgia Bulldog players since 1980 in the tournament bracket. All right.
Boy, you are killing me here now.
Matchup
Good
one.
gracious.
I got Herschel Walker versus Roquan Smith.
Gotta be Herschel, though, man. Herschel was the man. Herschel was the man. Matter of fact, I got a picture on my desktop right here. First time I met Herschel, and I looked him in the eye, we was in Greenville, South Carolina. He was a Smithfield rep, or a Smithfield celebrity or whatever. But I walked up to him and I looked at him in the eye. And man, you got to understand, I grew up cheering for this guy, and he was 10 foot tall, bulletproof. Oh, gracious. Herschel. But anyway.
All right. Next matchup is Garrison Hurst versus Hines Ward.
Ooh. Well, this running back you for a reason, so I have to go with Garrison Hurst. For sure.
Next matchup.
I know Hines had a great career and made a lot of money in the pros, too.
Yeah. But AJ Green, Jarvis Jones.
Ooh. So I gotta go AJ Green, man. I actually got a picture in the other office of AJ pulling one down over a LSU guy. So I like AJ Green back in the day.
All right. Champ Bailey versus David Green.
Probably Champ. Champ go both ways for a little bit. We don't know that back. You got to be real diehard dog fan to know that. Yeah.
David Pollock versus Noshawn Marino.
Oh. I remember when Noshawn come in, man, he sparked a drug, man. He really sparked the offense when him and Stafford got going. But man, Pollock, golly, just a beast, man, just a beast. So probably Pollock. He's one of my favorites because he just seemed when it was needed most. He was the man. He was the man.
All right. Next matchup: Aaron Murray versus Thomas Davis.
That's a good one there. Now probably Murray, man, because actually Murray and them. Those boys should have got a shot at the Natty. And you probably remember this, the drop. It wasn't the drop. It was the catch that should have been the drop in the SEC game where they would have had a shot to go back in and score and win. But yeah, I'm going to say Aaron Murray.
All right.
I'd say Murray.
Matthew Stafford versus Todd Gurley.
Oh, man, that's tough. And when you look at their dog days, Gurley, I just remember all the hype between him and Chubb and those guys, one after another coming. Gurley, I'm gonna say Gurley. I'm a Stafford fan, but I love it when Georgia starts running it down their throat. And when Gurley, I remember when he took the kickoff back time or two.
All right.
Gurley was a bad boy.
Richard Seymour, Brock Bowers.
Bowers, man. Bowers is just, he's a beast. He is a beast, no doubt.
All right, next round, Herschel Walker, Garrison Hurst.
Gotta be Herschel, man. It's gonna be hard not to have Herschel in there at the end, for sure.
All right, Champ Bailey versus AJ Green.
I say probably Champ.
Okay.
Probably Champ, because he could go both ways, and yeah.
All right, Pollock versus Aaron Murray.
Probably Pollock, man. Eric was gone by then, but Pollock had that grit and Pollock was a bad boy.
All right, Gurley versus Bowers.
Oh, man, there ain't no easy one there now. I'm going to probably say Gurley because without Gurley, some of those teams would have probably been 6-7 win teams. But Gurley was a game changer, and Bowers was too. He would actually, he just didn't miss. If it was in his realm, he'd catch it. But Gurley was a game changer, and that was not that Bowers wasn't, but so I'm probably gonna go with Gurley on that one.
All right, final four: Herschel Walker's versus Champ Bailey.
Both Hall of Famers, no doubt, but probably Herschel, man. Just remembering when I would have been 10 years old, 11 years old, and just remembering how invincible he looked,
Mm-hmm.
and just I'm all God. I am die hard. Jesus is the man. God's for real, but Herschel was close, man. When he started running over people,
Oh yeah.
Herschel would have been Samson for sure, no doubt.
All right, we got Pollock versus Gurley.
Oh, probably gotta go with Pollock, man. Just that Urt in him, and I love Urt Russell, man. When he went to Georgia Southern and saw how he did, Janet, my wife, she was at Georgia Southern back in those days, so I get to hear about that pretty regular. But that junkyard dog, Pollock was a definitely junkyard dog for sure.
All right, and the final is Herschel versus Pollock, which I already know who you're gonna be.
Ain't gotta be Herschel, man. It's gonna have to be Herschel. I hate that, but yeah. I don't know how that match up with your tournament or whatever. Probably an epic fail, but
no, I don't. Herschel was the truth. All the way pros
Herschel
and college.
Yes, he was.
And all the way after
Yes,
football when he was MMA and everything else.
That was when he was doing MMA when we met him in Greenville. It was an NBBQA conference. And I went in as president that year. And what I remember was they had some souvenirs, and they had a helmet that was signed by Herschel. And people started bidding on it, and I wanted it. I wanted it bad. And I'd go there, and I'd be like, man, I don't know if I can spend that money. Yeah, I got it. Finally, they come up and told me, they said, listen, stop. They are buying that helmet for you. Stop bidding on it. Stop bidding on it. But anyway, I think Brad Orson from the shed that much wound up buying it. They gave it to me. I put that helmet on. I run around the whole thing about 4 or 5 times. I was a proud cat, man.
That was an excellent story to end off with. I definitely appreciate you coming on. And definitely I'm going to meet up with you in person, either down in Douglas or when I get a trailer. And like I told you before, I'm coming up to America Royal to walk around and just meet folks and stuff like that. So I'll definitely be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I look forward to meeting you in person also.
You got it, man. You just make sure you come hungry and let me know. And we may not do much else, but we'll feed you good. And we sure appreciate all you do. Keep the Motivation Monday thing going, man. I've been enjoying that. And got to enjoy that one this morning, as a matter of fact.
So. I definitely appreciate that. And if you have any to promote your website or anything like that, you can do that also.
Yeah, man. So it's a whole bunch of them, but it's for the next generation. It's Future of Q, the letter Q.com, QA.org with the National BBQ and Grilling Association. And it's BBQNews.com, and it's barbecue spelled out, BARBECUENEWS.com, and that's for the magazine and calendar of events and all that stuff. So always happy to help any way we can, man, but we sure appreciate you having us and look forward to seeing more and more shows you got coming, man.
All right.
I've been enjoying them for so.
I definitely got a lot of people surprised, but I record them and then release them one by one. I got to slow down before I kill myself. So
oh yeah.
They definitely gonna see a lot of content and people coming on and sharing their stories, but I definitely appreciate you and all that you do, and you representing the state of Georgia, so I'm definitely happy about that. So I look forward to what y'all continue to do. And right now, since I got a podcast, I'm realizing I'm probably gonna have to sign for the NBBQA too, also, just to get any knowledge I can. to be more professional in doing this also. So you'll see my membership come through.
Yeah, man. You let us know if we can help you anyway, my friend.
No
You
problem.
got
No
it.
problem. But
You got it.
thank you. And we just wrapped up another session of barbecue therapy. Remember, stay patient, stay passionate, and keep that fire burning. Hit subscribe, share the good smoke, and pay the secretary on your way out. Have a blessed day.